Hello everyone, this is Nathan back with you, and this is Swimmer Sink. Now, what I'm going to be speaking about today is why you're stuck in the hood, as you probably read in the title. So the video is called, what I think, I'm going to just cut right to the chase, why you're still stuck in the hood. There's certain things in your life that you have failed to realize that are actually like playing into your demise, right? And let me repeat that again. Like, there's certain things in your life that you're either doing right now or that you haven't done that are causing you to live in the hood and not achieve your full potential. What made these things be? Now, I'm just breaking things down on the fly because I haven't made a video in like a month or so, and I'm just getting back into the flow of things. So I'm gonna just break it down like this. You might have addiction issues. Now this sounds bad, right? Like, addiction issues makes you sound like a drug addict. Like, you're not actually a drug addict or anything, but you might be addicted to tobacco. You might spend excess money spending it at the store buying tobacco or buying weed, buying alcohol. Like I said, you don't have to be like a drug addict to be addicted to something and spend your money that you don't actually have, money that you should be saving on these things, right? Doing that, like, even for myself, spending money on weed and junk food, those are like my two things that I spend money on that really don't make sense in my life, right? So, and I'm filming this in my apartment in the hood. It's not particularly like a hood, like it's not a bad area, but it's still government housing, low income housing. That's what I live in right now. So I'm speaking from experience because I've been looking at my own life and seeing where I'm going wrong, right? And so first, what I'm going to say is you might have addiction issues, and that plays into the next part is saving money. If you don't save money, then you're not gonna have like a good like savings account. You might just be living paycheck to paycheck. Now, people think that living paycheck to paycheck is like the government's fault or job's fault for not paying you enough, but you play into it too, because the amount of money you spend on a coffee, cigarettes, whatever it may be, I don't know, going to the movies, it's just something that you spend your money on a lot that doesn't have to be spent on. That's another thing playing into your demise, which is why you're still stuck in the hood. Right now, I'm going to go back on like the addiction aspect, right? So even when you're smoking cigarettes, like something just so simple as that, it's like how much time are you taking when you go outside and do it, right? Like, might take 5 to 10 minutes each time you smoke. What if you do that 4 times a day? That could add up to 40 minutes of your life just taken away. This could be time when you write something down, or even make a YouTube video like I'm doing right now. This only takes max 30 minutes to do. So a big thing with the addictions is not just the addiction itself, but the time it takes. Then also the mental energy that you give it. Because at times these things can make you sick. Like alcohol, you could be hungover. Other things could cause you like a bad hangover too. A lot of times, like from experience, smoking can make you sick. So these things will cost you your health, mental health, financial health, like all these things comes from like addictions, like addictions will make you have troubles in all those aspects of your life. Right now, another thing I'm gonna say, a reason why you're still stuck in the hood is because you don't have a skill. You don't make enough money. You don't have a good paying job. And now we could blame this on society all we want, like I have before. Oh, like I could only work labor jobs and I'm complaining about it. But I put myself in this position. I'm the one who didn't go to college or university. I'm the one that didn't pick up a skill when I was 18, 19, 20. I'm 25 right now, and I'm living in the hood, but I'm happy I have I have my own apartment. I don't live with my mother anymore, so that's a big achievement for me. And yeah, I don't live with my mom anymore, but still, I'm trying to get to the next level. And even though my rent's pretty cheap, I'm having trouble getting to that next level financially and building up cash flow. And the reason I don't have cash flow right now is because I haven't been working too much. The last job I was working was this labor job. I'm in the back of trucks and unloading the boxes, right? That was like my other job is hard labor. And I was talking to this real estate guy one time. He's older than me. I met him on the street. That's another thing, you gotta network, okay? But I was talking to him on the street and he was telling me, make sure you find something that you like to do, because you'll be in the same cycle that you're in right now, looking for a new job. I told him this back in summertime. It was probably July when I met him. And I didn't have a job at the time, or I don't know, it might have been before July, probably was June. And I didn't have a job at the time. And I was just telling him, like, I'm looking for work right now, but I didn't enjoy what I was doing before. And I'm tired of working labor and this and that. And I wasn't complaining. I'm just telling him the position I'm at in life, right? And he's like, "Oh, damn, I just hired an admin. I would have hired you to give me some help, right?" But he's like, find something that is gonna find something that you'll be peaceful working for a while, not just something temporary, because if you don't find something you like, you're gonna be in this exact same position looking for something in like 2 months time when you get tired of working. And what happened? Same thing happened. Like, I'm in the back of these trucks, and I'm gonna tell you, my knee started hurting, my right knee. And my knees don't hurt. My back usually hurts. Like, you know your body, right? So when I'm telling you, my legs are strong. I've played soccer my whole life, and my knee just kept getting this pain to bend down. It was hurting. It was cracking a lot. And just to break it down, how I felt every time I was going there and I was in the trucks, I felt like I was just dying. Like, not physically dying, but if I keep doing this over the years, I'm gonna die sooner than I would if I was just healthy and doing what I want to do. Because these hard labor jobs, it doesn't only affect like your physical body, but it affects your mental body, everything. Like, you know, just down the road, if you keep doing these jobs that are bad for your body, you're gonna be old, and you're gonna feel old, and you're not gonna have as much mobility, which means you can't work out, and then you're gonna get fat. You're gonna get diseases. I'm talking like as if I'm 60, 70. If I keep working these labor jobs, I'm not gonna be in good shape, because it's gonna take a toll on you, right? So I know I went on for long with this, but that's another reason you're stuck in the hood, is because you don't have a skill. You didn't go to school to obtain this skill. You didn't get into the union. Didn't learn construction. This is a piece of advice I'm gonna give to you, whoever is watching this. Take the step to get into school. There's colleges for adults. You could finish, get a placement, and actually work the job, instead of being in the repetitive cycle of working, taking off work, going back. All this stuff is just, like I said, a repetitive cycle, and it's a negative cycle, because you're gonna be stuck in the hood, still not keying into why you're still there. Right? So another thing is this. I would say living where I live in low income, and what I experienced at my grandmother's house, because my grandma, she doesn't live in housing, but she lives right beside the hood, right? So it's still considered the hood, right? But what I've seen over my years of living here and living there is that mental health is very prevalent with, I don't care what ethnicity you are, if you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever you are, if you live in the hood, you might have some like mental health issues going on. It could be something as little as depression, And addiction is like a mental health issue too, right? So I would say that if you're living in the hood, maybe you haven't gotten your own mental health in order. And my personal belief is that everybody has some personal mental health issues, right? Some people it's more severe than others. Some people it's not bad, right? They can still live with it. But I think everybody from your richest person in the world to poorest, the healthiest, the unhealthiest, everybody has something that goes on in their mind that bothers them, right? And I would say that that's a big thing with people who still live in the hood. They haven't put how can I say, they haven't like locked down their mind. They haven't became focused. They haven't actually learned their self and learned why they feel certain ways. 'Cause that's a big thing, is that you have to learn how to cope with your own mental state, right? If you can't cope with your own mental state, with your own thoughts, how are you going to be out in society, right? So, like I said, it could be as something, you might have little depression, or anger management is a mental health issue, right? If you can't control your anger, that's an issue. Excuse me, I had a problem in the summer. Wasn't even a problem that I caused, but I was sitting on the outside of my building, and there's two sets of stairs. There's one set of stairs that goes up to like the upper apartments, so the second floor and the third floor, and then there's a little staircase that goes down. There's like 4 stairs, and there's a little cubby there. But keep into consideration, this is part of my building. It's not like I'm a random person sitting on someone's steps, right? Like, I live here. And so the people that live in the lower level, there's 2 doors, right? So one door goes into the one person's house, and the other belongs to the other family. And it's summertime. It was like one of the hottest days this year, and I went for a walk because it's not always easy for me to sit in my house and get things done, right? It's nice to take walks, and you might do something at the park, right? So I was applying for jobs, and I took a walk, and then I kind of wanted some shade. So I went down like the four stairs and sat on the person's chair, right? Like I said, they usually sit there and smoke. So I'm not smoking. I'm just sitting there on my phone. And what happens is, person comes down, the one lady, and she's there with, like, she has her boyfriend and whatnot. And I go down. I see that she comes down, and I'm on my phone, so I have it out. I'm not trying to hit them with a surprise, right? Because I already knew they were coming. And so I get up and I'm like, hey, I was just on my phone. And she's just looking at me she's like, oh, okay. But then her man, they're coming home with groceries or something, and I've had a problem with this guy before. He's came up to me acting all rowdy, trying to fight me and all this stuff. And me, I'm personally calm. I'm calm until you get me to the point where if somebody hits me, that's when I'll rage out. That's when I'll defend myself. But you won't catch me hitting people first or being the aggressor. I'm more so the person that reacts if something happens to me, right? So even a few months before this, last year around this time, he did the same thing. He had a problem with something that I was doing, and he starts yelling he has no sense, yelling like he has no sense. And I'm I'm thinking in my head, aren't you close to 40? You're 30 something, and this is how you're acting? I don't get it, because if you can't realize the repercussions of how you act, that's a big problem. So like I said, a lot of people that are in the hood, they have anger management issues. I don't even want to say this is more so for the men. This is for the men and women, because these women will hit on you or yell at you, and you might not do too much. You might keep your composure, but you could do something that triggers them and pisses them off, and then they start hitting you. And then boom, I know you've heard the stories. If you're watching this, you've probably heard the stories of women calling the police on your friend, and he never actually did anything. It was just the fact that she didn't like what he was doing, and she probably like pinned something against him that wasn't even true, right? Like some people are aggressive. Some people do that domestic violence stuff. Like the guy I'm talking about right now, the guy who tried to do stuff to me, he got arrested like not too long before he was yelling at me and all that stuff for domestic abuse. So I know it happens on both sides, but that's a big thing in like if you're still living in the hood, you haven't taken care of your mental health issues, you don't have a skill, and might have some addiction, you spend your money. So just those few things can really upgrade your life. And I'm not gonna keep going on for that long, but I feel like it's so simple. And if you observe what's around you and you see people's bad qualities, then you can learn about yourself and your own circumstances. Right? So that's just my little rant right there about why you're still in the hood. I'm just putting things out right now because I don't want to complicate myself. That's pretty much why I haven't been posting this, because I've been complicating myself and thinking about things too much and how should I structure the video. Meanwhile, I should just come out and say something, right? So I broke it down. If you're still in the hood, you probably don't have a skill to make you money. Probably spend your money wildly or nonsensically. I think that's a word, nonsensical. But yeah, don't have a skill. Spend your money wildly. Probably haven't taken care of your mental health issues, and you probably have an addiction to something. Right? They all pretty much tie into one. And I'm going to end it off by saying, look at yourself and look at the people around you. And look who's still in the hood. Look who you know. Look who you don't know. Right? Just be observant and make sure you change what you don't want to be. Right? What do they say? What's that one saying? It goes, be the change that you want to see. Right? So if you see things around you that you don't want to be, don't be that. If you see something that you want to be, start to be that. Make sure it's positive though. Make sure you swim or sink. About to end it here. Thank you for coming. Make sure you like and subscribe.